Good morning, everybody. This is your boy D Max. So let's talk, man. All right. So if you've been following me over the last 24 hours, you see that I put out a couple of clips. And anytime I get ready to go into a situation where I'm about to address somebody, I always make sure that I have my receipts that backs up everything that I'm about to address. And so that's what I did this morning. And so if you want to see the proof of the things that I'm saying, I absolutely have all of the receipts. I keep receipts like a damn accountant. So we can go into that. But what I want to talk about is, I've always been one for the underdog. I love to see a good underdog story where they come out and they stand up for themselves, defend themselves, and come back and fight strong and end up on top. Love those types of stories. Matter of fact, shout out to my man that beat Kuzman this weekend. Kamaru Usman got beat. I forgot the cat's name, but he was an underdog in this fight, and he was getting beat the whole entire time. And last minute of the fight, caught Usman with a kick out of nowhere, lights out. We got a new champion. So shout out to that brother, man. I'm sorry I forgot your name, but everybody know the fight I'm talking about. So it's neither here nor there. But I say that to make the point that I love an underdog. And so when I was first introduced to Kwame Brown coming back on the scene, Kwame Brown was coming back on the scene as an underdog. Um, Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes made a joke about him one time on a show. And, you know, then you had guys like Stephen A. Smith who joined in on it. He chimed in and started to say his little stuff about Kwame Brown making jokes. And then you had Charlemagne the God to start in and say that, hey, he from South Carolina down here where I'm from, and brought up stuff about his daddy that was unnecessary. So Kwame, when you came out swinging, hey, I was all for you and I was right behind you 100%, no doubt. Then, you know, you said your piece, you put them on blast, and that was that. Good for you. I was happy at that point for you. But then, you didn't let the Charlemagne thing go. You didn't let the Stephen A thing go. Hey, you was just talking about Charlemagne yesterday or the day before. And then you got into this situation with Hassan Campbell. And when you got in this situation with Hassan Campbell, this is where you began to lose me. This is where I decided to fall back from your content, because I seen a route that you was going that I didn't respect it. And I voiced it many times. And the only reason that I brought it up, because let's rewind a whole year back. A year back is when I first started doing podcasting and stuff like that. And I was on a show with a dude named Big J. Big J, let's talk. Shout out to Big J. And his podcast was geared towards sports and things that was going on in the sports world. And so when your story came up, we had to discuss it naturally, because it was something pertaining to the sports world and it was an interesting story to talk about. So, me and Big J put our 2 cents in about, what was going down with the whole Kwame Brown situation. And so I made my points about how I felt about you. And like I said, back then I was rocking with you and I was all for your message. But then when you got to that situation with Hassan Campbell, I listened very close, because there was a point when he came out and he fully admitted that he initiated the confrontation with you. He didn't really know nothing about you. He thought that you was boule and he was just putting stuff out there. And so at that point, you had the total upper hand in the situation. And from that point, you could have made that a teaching moment for all of those kids that you swear look up to you. And so, in that moment, when you had that opportunity to make it a teaching moment, you chose not to. You chose to go ignorant with it. You chose to go stupid with it. And you chose to belittle and you chose to do all of that toxic stuff that you saw everybody doing because you was like, hey, this is getting numbers. Good morning, you crazy cousin. What's up, my brother? And go ahead and address this thing. I haven't talked about this in over a year. I have all the timestamps on my videos, and you can go through them and you can see that I haven't spoken on this gentleman for over a year after I spoke my piece and said what I had to say. And, so going back to the Hassan Campbell incident, when you had that opportunity to make that a teaching moment and be the bigger man and show those kids who respect you and who look up to you how to have conflict resolution with another man, you chose to go the toxic route because you saw that got you more views and that got you more accolades and stuff like that. And that's what you was really looking for, because at that point Charlemagne had stopped giving you any energy. Stephen A stopped giving you any energy, and all the smoke podcasts wasn't talking about you no more. So your numbers were starting to get stale. Your numbers were starting to taper off at that point, and you needed something to spike those numbers back up. And so you saw that the toxicity is what got those numbers up. And so you went in hard with Hassan Campbell, and both of y'all made an ass of yourself. And if you go in, I politely and respectfully put up a clip stating just that. This is something that me and Big J was talking about. And because my concept and my line has always been the building of men, the building up of men and being an example to the young men out here that's coming up. And so when I saw you take that opportunity to go the low road and be ignorant, I spoke my opinion on that, and I left it alone, man. And I left it at, I hope you grow and I hope you learn to do better. And I didn't say nothing else about it for a whole year. So fast forward this whole year, I've been on here doing my thing and topic after topic and, all the stuff that's been going on. I left it alone because, like I said, from the Hassan incident, that's when I fell back off of your content and I really didn't listen to you anymore for that point. And so for this whole year, I just been doing my thing, focusing on whatever. And so now, I've come into an arena to where your name popped back up again, and it didn't pop up in a positive light. And so I'm like, dang, here we go again. Dang, dude didn't learn from that Hassan Campbell mess, because I don't know really much about the Sotomayor thing because, like I said, at that point I had stopped listening. And so I was like, dang, this dude haven't learned from the Hassan Campbell mess. And let me go and check out his content and, see, have he learned anything? And so I checked out your latest video that you put out, your Sunday service or whatever. And based on what I saw, based on what I observed, you're still in the same spot that you was a year ago. That's not good. You're always supposed to progress and learn and don't make the same mistakes twice, but it seems that you're continuing to make these same mistakes, brother. And I said back then that, you were an obstacle that's placed in the way to keep me from getting to them. And the them that I'm talking about is the ones that you claim to hate, the ones that you claim to be out here to expose. You have actually become what you hate. And this is something that I've repeated time and time again anytime your name came up in a conversation. He's become what he claimed to hate. That's all I really have to say about you, because that's the truth. And I only speak in truth. I'm not here to insult your intelligence or none of that stuff like that. I'm here to bring forth the truth. Blessings to everybody coming in. Blessings to all y'all, man. I'm probably just drop this link so everybody can come in on this. But first, I want to speak this piece because I don't want it to be misconstrued as, like he loves to say, all my haters or people just trying to get on. They trying to get their views and stuff up so they want to say my name. Brother, my channel ain't even monetized at all, nor do I have the desire to monetize my channel. This is something that I've already spoken before, nor do I give a damn about the viewership and stuff like that. You know, my message is for who it's for, and that's that. So that dispels all of those excuses that you would give for me coming at you. Me coming at you, I'm coming at you directly with a specific gripe, and that's it. And that's why I prefer to speak to you. I don't speak through other people that represent you. I don't argue with your minions and stuff like that. I bring it directly to the person that I have the problem with, and that's you, Kwame. And it's the same problem that I had with you from the time that you had that incident with Hassan Campbell. You're not learning anything, man. You're continuing that same path, and now you're trying to shit on people who you feel are under you, so that you can keep this toxic thing going, because that's your lifeline. That's your breadwinner right there. You stated it in your last video that you're trying to take food out of my kid's mouth by trying to mess up my YouTube paper. So that lets me know that you've eaten off of YouTube. Yeah. So your conversation gave you away on that piece. But I'll say this, brother, to this point, you're still not my enemy. You're not. You're not my enemy. In order for you to be my enemy, you have to be a threat to me. And in no area do I see that. So I'm just trying to give some knowledge to a young brother. And I look back on it, man. I look back on your career and stuff, and I see you had Michael Jordan trying to give you some game, trying to give you some wisdom. You couldn't get it. You had Kobe Bryant, Mamba, trying to give you the game, trying to get you up to speed. You couldn't get it. And so they brought Andrew Bynum in to take your place. And, you know, your career was stagnant because you just couldn't get it. And so after your NBA career was over and now you've come back on the scene on the social media side, you're still in that same mind space to where you just don't get it. You got OGs in the game out here trying to put you up on game, trying to help you become better, trying to help you to put down those childish things and become a man, but you still just don't get it. And that's bothersome, man, because if you have as many kids looking up to you as you claim, then you really need to be on top of your game and not just coming in regurgitating something that you heard. Because that's what I'm hearing a lot of. I brought up the point of the coding and trading that you love to promote so much to anybody who's willing to listen. But I've shown you, and I put the clip out there so everybody can go and look at the clip of what was my man name? FYF Sports. And he's an actual coder. That's his job. That was his profession. And he came on and he confronted you and he said, why are you promoting coding and trade? These are, I believe the word that he used was Stone Age and obsolete systems. And instead of you listening to what the brother had to say and taking in the knowledge and correcting yourself and taking that off the plate and going another route, you began to attack that man. You began to get offended. Well, if you want to give pushback on coding, then why don't you just add the engineering in too? You know, and you didn't have the humility to say, well, this is your profession. Give us the right way our children should be going. You know, and even though you didn't say that, he still volunteered that information. And yet I still hear your little minions going back and forth promoting coding and trade and all of that stuff, even after the professional told you that it's obsolete and it's Stone Age and the kids would not benefit from it in this day and age because the coding things change so quickly. but yet you're still pushing that stuff. And then you try to disparage other people who are out here trying to build men, as to where you say that that's what you're doing, but it's not. By far, it's not. You got so wrapped up in the drama and all of the toxic conversations and stuff like that, because this is what keeps your numbers up, and that's what you're all about. Because that's what your crew whole bottom line is about anything. Anytime they get into an argument with anybody about anything, they will immediately run. Oh, but you only get this many views, and you only get that many subs, and watch this, bro. It ain't about none of that. But that's where your mindset is still at, because you haven't learned over all of these years. Even though you still got all of these OGs still trying to give you wisdom and understanding, you just don't get it. And it's just like your NBA career was. You came in hyped up, they blew your head up. Oh, you're going to be the next Jordan and all of this and that. And when you got in there and you saw what it really was and saw that you was in over your head, you tried as hard as you could. You was young back then, and that's understandable that you mess up as a young man. But now you're older. You're a man now. You're not a kid anymore. So you should be able to grasp concepts a little bit better. You should be a little bit more mature to be able to know when to close your mouth and listen to somebody who's really trying to impart some wisdom into you, but yet you're not. And so my conversation that I want to have with you, I put it out there. I'm leaving the invitation open for you anytime to sit down and have a conversation with me. And it's not going to be about coding and trade. It's not going to be about none of that stuff. It's going to be about, why do you continuously allow yourself to be an obstacle in the way of those who are looking at progress and who are building towards something good? Why do you continue to be that distraction, that overseer, that gatekeeper, the ones that you claim that you're exposing all the times? Why are you now becoming one of those? Because you also said in that video, I'm a very good listener, by the way, you also stated how, yeah, you try to make it to Hollywood and get you a show, and how our conversations and our attention towards you is going to push you into getting a TV show, and then everybody going to be jealous of you. Bro, stop it. Stop it, dog. Ain't nobody jealous of you. Ain't nobody worried about that type of stuff. That's only you. And we had a panel the other day where we was discussing, the energy that a lot of these content providers have. And I stated then that a lot of them out here auditioning. They think that this is their big audition that's going to get them to the limelight. And I'll be damned if you ain't turning around and confirm exactly what I said. That's your mindset. That's your mentality. You're not on here to build with the people. You're not on here to build up men. You're not on here to bring about some type of progression in the community. You want to build up Kwame Brown. And you're doing that on the backs of your little minions, letting them run out here and take all the hits while you sit back and you play innocent. You just like your little homie ears. You throw a rock and then hide your hand. It's cool. I see you haven't grown any, but I'm telling you now, I'm putting this invitation out to have this conversation with you, not to bolster up no views or nothing like that. I just want to speak to you man to man, because back then, over a year ago, and it's funny, hey, Reverend Tony, you on here yet? Hey y'all, Reverend Tony was all up on there when me and Big J was talking. I wanted to put out one of the videos where he was on there leaving messages and in the chats and stuff like that. But that's how long me and Reverend Tony been rocking. And so, we knew back then, we peeped game back then, man. And whenever I speak on you, dog, it's from a place of concern. It's from a place of concern, man, because I don't want to see you get hurt and disappointed again like you did in your NBA career. This is a new path for you. This is a fresh start for you. But I see you following that same pattern that you did with your career. You come in the social media scene, everybody blowing your head up. You coming off of a big win. You told Charlemagne and all of them off, and they threw you an alley-oop and you dunked it. You know, Matt Barnes then gave you a little alley oop to get you in the game. Now you in the game and you enjoyed that dunk and you loved the highlight film and all of that stuff. And now you done got back in the game and you want everybody to see Kwame Brown in his rarest form. But you following that same pattern as back then. You're not listening to nobody. You thinking you can just do it on your own merit, and it's not working. And you're the same mediocre social media. Uh, uh, I don't want to call you a celebrity, social media personality or provider, or influencer. I guess I'll say influencer. You're the same mediocre social media influencer that you were as a player. I'll never call you a bust. I won't disrespect you like that, man, because you did make it to the NBA. You're not a bust, dog, but you are an extraordinarily mediocre ass player. That's what you were to me. That was always my critique of you. You're just very mediocre. You weren't bad, you weren't good, but you were highly mediocre. If there was a tier for mediocrity, you would be right there at the top of the mediocres. And that's the way I felt about it. And that's the same way that you're going with your social media career, because you've gotten in a lane that is far from what you really know. And you're out here regurgitating a whole lot of outdated, obsolete concepts to the people, because I'm telling you all of this. And I come over and I listen to Ears whenever me and Ears was having our little back and forth, and I listened to his content to see what he was talking about. He was regurgitating that same stuff that you was talking about last year, that me and my people was talking about over 5 to 10 years ago. You know, so these concepts that you're putting out here, and as if you're enlightening the people, you're not. You're just regurgitating old talking points, trying to make it sound like you know something. Now, somebody who haven't heard this stuff in conversation and in passing, then they'll think, man, this dude got some knowledge. But the people out here who are really in the streets and in the trenches and doing the work and really putting forth information to help the people grow and help the community, we see what you are. We check that. And so I'm just here to let you know, brother, you're either going to grow or you're going to go. Those are the only two options, grow or go, because you're going to end up falling into that same place that you were in your NBA career. You're going to get stale. You're not going to be able to create anything else other than drama. And when people start not giving you that energy anymore, because that's the only thing that's holding you up, is the fact that people are giving you their energy. And when people lose interest in that, then you're just going to fade away again, just like you did last time. And, I don't want you to be bitter at us like you was bitter at all of the NBA players because they saw your mediocrity and they called you out for it. I mean, you came out of a area in South Carolina. Of course, you was playing better than most of the people down there. See, I'm in North Carolina, where I'm from. We really know basketball. South Carolina has never been known for that. So, of course, you can dominate down there in the area that's not really known for basketball like that. But you come up to North Carolina, up to the Tar Heels, UNC, and all, Duke, even NC State. Bro, we got some killers. You know it for a fact. And so, yeah, you shine down there in South Carolina because, you didn't have much competition. That's the same thing on these YouTube streets. Yeah, you shine down there around the people that you came up with, because a lot of them don't really know too much. I ain't gonna say, I take that back. No disrespect to the people of South Carolina like that. There's always been a rivalry between North Carolina and South Carolina. So I got to get out of that habit of making those jabs at South Carolina. But I will say this, man. The level of knowledge that are in these people that I deal with on this YouTube channels on a daily basis, you are not on that level, dog. You are not qualified to speak on some of the things that we speak about because we have professionals. Just like FYL Sports was a professional in coding and you dismissed what he was saying because of your pride, you have people on this side who are professionals in what they do, and their skill set has been certified over years of experience and things like that. So when you try to speak in areas that you are not qualified to speak in, it makes you sound really small and you're a poor representation of your people where you're from. And so that'll make people think that they are like you if you're one of their biggest representations and you talk so unintelligently like you do, then that's going to put a bad reputation on where you're from. So stop it, bro. Stay in the vein of sports. Talk about sports and sports things that are going on in the lives of athletes. That's something where you can excel, man. Always, always use your strong points, man. Always use your strong points. And that's my whole bit of advice for you, man. I don't have no anger. I don't have no nothing towards you like that. I just want to see you do better, man, and I want to see you grow up and get out of this attitude to where you feel like you got to get somebody and you got to expose somebody because you don't. The people that you needed to get and the people that you needed to expose, you already done that. Now what you're doing is something totally different. Now you're becoming a bully. You bullied a little girl, you know what I'm saying? You going into an area where you're not qualified to speak. And the people on your side are not qualified to speak. We've already discussed about the whole HIPAA thing. So just dial it back some, man. And if you really want to have this conversation all day long, I'm here and I'll be waiting, man. I'll be leaving my the Dropbox or whatever, the link. I'll put the link in there for you. Just let me know you want to have it one-on-one. Like I said, I don't talk to minions. I don't talk to your representatives, none of that. I bring it straight to the person I got an issue with, dog. And so that's all I really got to say about this, man. Man, all my people in the chat, everybody pretty much got an idea of what type of dude I am. I ain't gonna come at you on no soft stuff. I ain't gonna come at you on no BS issue. I'm gonna come at you on something that pertains to you and only you. And it's not about you. It ain't about your money. It ain't about your channel or none of that. It's about your character. It's about your personality. That's what I'm focused on because I'm in the vein of building men. And regardless of what I think about you, I still see that there's potential in you if you allow somebody to impart something in you. But as long as you think you know everything, then nobody's ever going to be able to impart anything in you, and you're going to just stay where you at. And that's sad for a grown man. I don't like to see men stagnant like that. I just came from a men's conference this past weekend, man, and one of the main things that we was talking about was grace, growth, and guidance. And that's what I see you needing, man. Like you said, you didn't have that father figure, and you need that grace in order for you to get out of this mindset that you're stuck in and get this chip off of your shoulder. And you need help to grow. And that's only going to happen if you let go of those things that I just mentioned so that you can grow, because that's what's hindering your growth. And then you need guidance. You need those OGs like the Michael Jordans who was trying to mentor you, like the Kobe Bryant that was trying to mentor you. Rest in peace, Kobe. But yeah, bro, that's all I'm here for. You can take it with a grain of salt. You can come in mad and angry and, bro, I can argue with the best of them, but I ain't even going to come at you with that type of energy. I'm just going to break you down with the truth and the facts, because I stay focused on that. I don't stray too far away from my main point. I'm going to keep you focused on the fact and the topics of my problem with you. And we'll just go at it like that, bro, like two grown men. But once you start going left and you start going into that whole little bullshit that y'all be doing and playing and stuff like that, I'm going to go ahead and cut your throat, dog. Not literally, but figuratively, of course. I'm definitely going to figuratively slice your throat because, like I said, your level of understanding is nowhere near mine. That's not a brag, that's just a fact. And you demonstrated it over this whole entire year from the time that I saw you engage with Hassan Campbell up to this point. You still got that same energy, you still got that same ignorance, and you still have that same mental block. So, hey, the invitation is out there, dog. Um, I don't really have nothing else to say on it until you respond. And if you respond, then we can go forth. If you don't respond, then I'll let it go and I'll know that, you're okay with being where you are in life. So, yo, I appreciate y'all coming in, man, to check out what I had to say this morning. There's been a whole lot of back and forth with this dude. And like I said, I went and checked out his last video, and I didn't like the energy of it. I didn't like the way that he was speaking about certain people, and I didn't like how he was talking out of both sides of his mouth because there was a lot of contradictions and things that he said. And like I said, I have the video footage to back up every single thing that I say about this dude. I don't come at nobody if I don't have no proof of what I'm talking about, and I damn sure don't open my mouth if I don't know what I'm talking about, because I like to speak with authority. And in order for me to speak with authority, I got to have all the information necessary to show you that I know exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm here, dog. I'm here. You've been woofing the whole damn year, and you've been saying a whole bunch of bullshit, a whole bunch of cap ass shit for a whole year. And I ain't said nothing. But now that you come full circle and opportunities rose again, you jumped off with FYL Sports back then because he was making you look bad. Don't do that here, bro. I ain't trying to make you look bad. Only person can make you look bad is you. And that's by you not being humble enough to receive the information that I'm trying to bring to you. So once again, like I said, man, I appreciate everybody coming in this morning, and we're going to see what happens from here. I'm going to leave it alone until I hear a response from them. That's it, man. Y'all know what I say, man. Sticks and stones can break your bones, but the word can always heal you. I'm out.